Hello, it is Explorer Man. It is Sunday the 20th of September 2020, and as you can see, I don't need to do a weather report. It's a beautiful day here in Brisbane, and we're just covering a little bit on Brisbane's Southbank here. Just excuse me if this gimbal jumps around a little bit because I'm still getting used to it. But as you can see, we're walking up to this arbour. You can see those bougainvilleas just growing over those metal bars there, those twisted metal bars. Actually, the arbour consists of 443 of those curling steel columns, which are all covered in bougainvilleas right throughout the year as they flower. But the arbour, as I said, stretches a whole kilometre from Vulture Street to the Cultural Forecourt and is used as a pedestrian walkway, and it passes this beautiful pool area here on the South Bank of Brisbane. It's sort of like a beach, really. I'll just get up a little bit closer here. You see a lot of families enjoy it here. It's actually called the Streets Beach. That's the name it's been given anyway, the Streets Beach. It's a man-made beach, obviously. It's about 2,000 square metres of free-formed concrete when they were building it. 4,000 cubic metres of sand, and it's real sand. It's not fake sand by any means. The sand surrounding this man-made beach is from the Ross Channel in Moreton Bay, and every year the beach is topped up with an additional 70 tonnes to ensure that the sand right here is in pristine condition. Almost half of the lagoon area, by the way, sits on reclaimed land that was once the Brisbane River. So it's a really great job that they've done. You can see it's quite a big area for swimming right through there. Yep. So we might just keep walking down, and then we might come back again the same way that we have been walking down. We'll go through this arbour area once again. Some of the arbour anyway. More of the pool over there, or Streets Beach as it's called. Another area of the pool.
What happened? Why are you running in the sand? Cold. Really cold. So you rolled into the sand. Why are you in the sand? I've been looking cold.
Just here's some more of this arbour. See it stretching through into the distance there. As I said before, it goes for about a kilometre. We'll just go past this pool area some more on the South Bank of Brisbane. In the distance is the Brisbane River. That's the Cebus building there. We might get right onto the river area, I think, as we're walking through here. Lots of restaurants and cafes around here, especially back into the street area. This area of the pool obviously has been roped off. They must be doing some work here. You can see the other section way in the distance is being used by a lot of people. We'll even be able to... Yep. Let's go down to the Brisbane River. We'll just turn around and have a bit of a look. Some of Southbank there. Down to the Brisbane River. It's one of the river cats just going up the Brisbane River. We also have ferries, cruises. Here comes the city cat. The buses of the river in Brisbane. Tell you what, Brisbane's a really lovely city. I've lived here most of my life, but I don't think I want to live anywhere else, even though there's some lovely cities around the world. Do I sound biased? Probably I am. This area, Southbank, that we're looking at, I might just keep walking down toward the Victoria Bridge. We actually walked over the Victoria Bridge in an earlier video we did. You can chase that up on my channel. Southbank was originally, where we are now, is originally a meeting place for the traditional owners of Turrbal and Yuggera people. And in the early 1840s, this area became really the central focus point of early European settlement. And from the 1850s, Southbank, the Southbank precinct where we are, was quickly established as the Brisbane Business Centre. So you can see on the north side, that is the Brisbane centre. That is the centre of Brisbane, really. The Brisbane Business Centre, not the Southbank. But the Southbank was originally the Brisbane Business Centre. Obviously, as I said, it just shifted over to the north side of the river to attain higher ground because it flooded. It flooded very heavily. And so they had to move the business centre to the north side of Brisbane. This began the decline of the Southbank when the business centre of Brisbane moved to the North Bank, and the area became home then, here where we are now, to vaudeville theatres. There were derelict boarding houses around here, light and heavy industry. I remember the light and heavy industry that used to be on the South Bank, and it was just a really ordinary looking place, full of rusty old metal factories and so on. It didn't look very pretty at all. But of course in 1988 the council redeveloped this entire area to get it ready for World Expo 88, following which the government intended, after World Expo 88, they wanted to develop this site for commercial interests. And of course the public objected to that, and I'm glad they did, because we've got these beautiful gardens and Southbank areas, including the pool and everything else that we see today. It was a public campaign actually that lobbied for the site to be redeveloped as parkland for the enjoyment of people in Brisbane, and in 1989 the Southbank Corporation, a Queensland government statutory body, that was established to oversee the development and management of the new Southbank parklands. And in 1998 a major redevelopment was announced that included the Goodwill Bridge, the Grey Street, and also management of the new Southbank parklands. That harbour was part of the developments, the canals and associated pathways and bikeways, you name it. And we've got what we have today here in Brisbane. Thank God it was never developed into a business area here on the South Bank. Although there are still businesses here, obviously, but it's certainly not the central business district as is the north of Brisbane, which you can see right there over the river. Just going to walk down here a little bit further. Show this giant wheel. I keep wanting to call it a Ferris wheel, but it's not really a Ferris wheel. A bit bigger than a Ferris wheel. So please subscribe. I need a few subscribers, I think over 1,000. Hardly got any subscribers at all. It's embarrassing. But if I get over 1,000 subscribers, then I can do live feeds and you can talk to me as I'm actually walking around Brisbane. We'll be doing a lot of these videos walking around Brisbane, also walking around the surrounds of Brisbane, even going out a lot further too. Bikes can access the Brisbane Southbank parklands from Southbank via Vulture Street, Little Stanley Street and the Cultural Forecourt, from the Gardens Point via the Goodwill Bridge and from Kangaroo Point via the River Walk. So there's a lot being given to those who love to ride their bikes. And of course, bike racks are located at the Visitor Centre in Stanley Street Plaza, Suncorp Piazza, the Boardwalk, Clem Jones Promenade and Little Stanley Street as well. Just going to go to this big wheel. It's actually called the Wheel of Brisbane. Just see how much work they've done here. Love all these trees, how leafy and green it looks through here. Lots of restaurants around here as well. I just had a lovely meal at Nando's before doing this. Isn't this really lovely? A little rainforest area that they've created right on the banks of the Brisbane River, part of Southbank. Right. So this goes a fair way. I'm just going to turn around again and go back toward the riverbank. I really want to walk along the riverbank. This just gives you an idea of all the different ideas right through here at Southbank and the versatility of the place. Versatility, I think I said it right the first time. Here we are, back walking along the river. Just a really good feel along here. It's lovely at night here too. Just beautiful at night. It's all lit up, including the Victoria Bridge, which you should be able to see in the distance over there, which links Southbank to the north of Brisbane. There's As I said, we did a video on walking over the Victoria Bridge. It wasn't a very long video, but we did one walking over the Victoria Bridge and just going into the Queen Street Mall. That was on one of my previous videos on this channel. So click and subscribe if there's over 1,000 subscribers. As I'm doing a live feed, that'll enable me to do a live feed. And then you can talk to me as I'm doing the live feed. But you can still ask questions now, and I'll get back to you anyway. If you want to write some questions down below. Little train there. It's really good to see more people out and about. Still usually a little bit busier than this, but it is good to see some people out and about. And life slowly getting back to normal. Let's hope it continues like this. So a Nepalese pagoda, a Nepalese pagoda. You can see in front. It's part of Expo 88 actually. And the carving and woodwork is very intricate on this. So the Nepalese Peace Pagoda was originally commissioned and installed at Southbank for Expo 88. And following its success, it became a coveted item with several international bidders vying to keep it. It remains here today, however, thanks to a generous donation from the philanthropic people, Frank and Myra Pitt, in addition to contributions from Brisbane locals, the Australian Government and Brisbane City Council. So the Nepalese Peace Pagoda was commissioned by the Association to Preserve Asian Culture on behalf of the Kingdom of Nepal. It was designed to showcase Nepal's distinguished wood carving heritage and has several defining features. It's a close replica of a temple in Kathmandu, and it is only the Nepalese Peace Pagoda in Australia. This one here, and is one of only 3 peace pagodas outside of Nepal. And actually making this pagoda was no easy feat. It took 160 craftsmen from the Kathmandu Valley 2 whole years to hand carve it, to make it. They used more than 80 tonnes of terai forest timber from Nepal's southern jungles. I'll just take up a bit closer here just to have a bit of a look. This carving is just so intricate right around the entire building. Look at that carving. All the detail in that. Just go inside. Have a look at these doors here. Whoop, bring it back the other way. You see those doors there? The intricacy of the carving? Just beautiful. Well, we'll go back out again. We'll just go down and see if we can see this wheel of Brisbane. You can sort of see it through there. Just operating. I'll get a better view of it if I can walk down here further. Back toward the Brisbane River again. So that's the wheel of Brisbane. You can just get another view. This has all been fenced off because they're doing some work in there. So this is the only view I can give you. Perhaps I can get around. There's some people in there. So perhaps there's another way around. Let's see if we can find another way around. Give you even a better view. Yep, I'm sure we'll find a better view over here. Still very quiet around this area. It's a very eerie feeling when this COVID-19 was first happening and everything was locked down, and I went for a walk through here and it was just like a ghost town. Very strange feeling indeed, because it's usually packed right through here, and there wasn't anyone that I could see really, except a couple of people in the distance, and that was when this COVID-19 first started. But yeah, now there's a lot more people here. Still quiet, but there's a lot more people here. So I'm just gonna show you that wheel there. That's a better look of it. That's a better look at the wheel. The wheel of Brisbane, 60 metre, 197 feet tall Ferris wheel, erected right here back in August 2008 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of World Expo 88 and the 150th anniversary of Queensland. And the 150th anniversary of Queensland ran between 1859 and 2009. This particular wheel of Brisbane carries 42 gondolas on a 15-minute ride with panoramic views of Southbank parklands, the Brisbane River and the city. It's just a great thing to have here in Brisbane at the Southbank. Just walking here past the Cremorne Theatre Gallery. There's a lot of shows on here. There's plays, musicals, right through this whole area here. We call this the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. Southbank Brisbane Entertainment Centre. And there's just so many wonderful plays and musicals to see, which keep coming on a regular basis. Of course, with this COVID-19, a lot of that had to stop, unfortunately. But it's just starting to go back now, which is really encouraging. You can see posters for shows starting in 2021, which is great. Let's hope it stays like that. I'm just going to take you up a little bit further toward the start of the Victoria Bridge. And we're actually heading toward the Brisbane Art Gallery. It's one of my favourite places. And the Gallery of Modern Art, GOMA, is behind the traditional art gallery. Mind you, there's lots of modern art in the traditional art gallery as well. That's my favourite, really, just the art gallery, because there's so much diversity in the normal art gallery as compared to GOMA. Well, that's what I find anyway. It's also a really nice cafe in that art gallery too, by the way. Some buildings there in the background, Brisbane buildings. Yep, here we are, just across the road there. You can't cross here. You have to go down the footpath there a little bit before you can cross. But yeah, just past that bus shelter, which you can see right in front, is the art gallery. See the big posters up on the art gallery walls there in the distance. There's a lyric theatre there, part of the entertainment centre. This is interesting. I'm just going to go across to the start. If I can cross here. That's my next car. I doubt it. I'm just going to go. I'm not going to walk across the Victoria Bridge. Like I said, we did that in the previous video, which you can look on my channel. We did that at night. But I just want to, if I've got enough space here on this video, just to show you some history regarding the bridges that used to be in this area, crossing the Brisbane River from south to north side. Okay, so I'll bring this around here. So the Brisbane Bridge, if you can see that, I'll just see if I can get this gimbal down. You might be able to read some of that. Yep. Following the Moreton Bay convict colony settlement of Brisbane in 1825, boats were the primary mode of transport between Brisbane River's north and south banks. In the 1860s, however, the ever-increasing population prompted the construction of the city's first permanent cross-river bridge. Works began in 1864, and by June 1865, it had officially opened. The bridge was made of timber and was aptly named the Brisbane Bridge. In 1867, just 2 years after it opened, the bridge succumbed to woodworm infestation, and lo and behold, it collapsed. In 1874, even though its lifespan was short, the Brisbane Bridge had become a vital link between Brisbane's north and south river banks. The decision was made to replace it. Good idea, but this time using steel so it wouldn't suffer woodworm. The bridge officially opened in 1874 and was named the Victoria Bridge after the reigning monarch at the time, Queen Victoria. It was initially a toll bridge, but the tolls were abolished in 1877 because they just weren't bringing in enough money. Brisbane flood happened in February 1893. Brisbane suffered devastating floods, and because of that, the river rose 7 metres above its ordinary level. It destroyed the Victoria Bridge, the floods, with local papers at the time reporting, quote, at 4 this morning, nearly 1/3 of the Victoria Bridge at the northern end yielded to the immense pressure of the water, and there is now no means of communications between North and South Brisbane. No means of communication back then between North and South Brisbane. We've got mobile phones and everything now. The Brisbane Courier, 6th of February 1893, reported that story. But once the flood waters had receded, a temporary bridge was constructed over the river, but it took more than 4 years to build another permanent bridge. This is interesting. In 1893, the Pearl Ferry disaster. Following the collapse of the Victoria Bridge in 1893, a steamboat Pearl was used to carry passengers between Brisbane's North and South Banks. However, on the 13th of February 1896, disaster struck. Approximately 80 passengers aboard the Pearl were travelling from the city to Musgrave Wharf at South Brisbane when a strong current pushed it off course and into an anchored government steamer, the Lucinda. As the Pearl collided with Lucinda's anchor chains, it split into two and began to sink. Most of the passengers and crew were thrown into the fast-flowing water and had to fight against the strong current to find safety. Tragically, 23 people drowned in the disaster. They rebuilt the Victoria Bridge in 1897. And there's a memorial of this little boy that's up on the stone. I'll show you in a minute. But in June 1918, a dreadful accident occurred on the southern side of the Victoria Bridge. 11-year-old Australian Greek boy Hector Vasily was killed when he was accidentally struck by a passing vehicle during a celebratory procession of returning World War I troops. The accident devastated the local community. Hector was known for his patriotism, and he'd been extremely excited to welcome the troops home. He'd even spent his own money on gifts to give to them. In December 1918, a marble memorial plaque was placed on the bridge to commemorate Hector. To this day, that abutment memorial remains an important location for Brisbane's Australian and Greek community, and an Anzac Day service is held right there annually. And that's the building of the Victoria Bridge. Which started construction in 1969. Trams in Brisbane. And more about the Victoria Bridge abutment, which I'm going to show you. This plaque commemorating little boy Hector Vasily. Here we go. Some original tram lines which used to go across the original bridge. Yep. So here we go. That's the memorial. To Hector Vasily. And I'll just take you up here before we end this video. I'll just take you up here to have a good look at the Victoria Bridge, which started construction in 1969. And there it is. Whoops, Still getting used to this gimbal. It's a better look at the bridge. Look down Brisbane River. Towards Southbank. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and we need subscribers, so just click and subscribe, and if you want to ask any questions, just type them in and I'll get back to you. But if I get over 1,000 subscribers, then I can go live and you can be talking to me as I'm walking around Brisbane. I'm not really sure where in Brisbane I'll be going next, but it will be informative. And if you haven't been to Brisbane, I truly recommend it, because we have those lovely beaches south of Brisbane on the Gold Coast. We've got Coolangatta, we've got lovely beaches, Maroochydore, Caloundra on the north coast of Brisbane, Bribie Island, you name it, and the fishing's great. Really is. You can even take a cruise up the Brisbane River for morning tea and have Devonshire tea if you like as well. There's so much to see and do in Brisbane. We've got the mountains as well, north of Brisbane, Mullaney, Montville, Mapleton, all those beautiful areas with art galleries just north of Brisbane too. And we'll do a video on that as well in time. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Many more videos on Brisbane and surrounds coming up. This is Explorer Man signing out. Thanks for watching.